So, hi YouTube, my name is Chris and this is your timeless reading for whenever you find it. It's not sign specific, it's not even time specific, so whenever you find it, whoever you are, there's something in it for you. The world card, showing up again and again. I mean, let's say this again and again. It's the end of 2025. I said it's not time specific, but you know, so a little bit. So we're in the end of 2025. And if you have noticed, the last few years there were pretty effing heavy energies at play, right? So the world card, the Lovers, bottom of the deck, the Ace of Cups, and I've seen the Lovers too. So good news, right? Overflowing joy, happiness, self-love, that's a good energy, right? And the world card, we're closing the old circle. Celtic cross, the center of your reading is the Queen of Pentacles. Things are just, getting better, right? Everything is getting easier. Queen of Pentacles is this energy where you can just relax a little and things are just falling into place. Things are coming to you. There's the Devil, there's the crossing energy. So how does that work together? Let's just see. I need a little more context for that. The Foundation is the King of Swords, so you know your stuff, right? There's something at the horizon waiting for you. Three of Wands. Judgment, right? The Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune, that's the Wheel of Fortune. Big circle. The Chariot, the universe is on your side. Yeah, you have been dealing with heavy energies, right? This is your energy, that's the Wounded Warrior. And the Wounded Warrior, 9 of Wands, right? You're not sure, is it safe to come out? I mean, what is going to be thrown at me next moment, right? So you've been through a lot. There's a little bit of hypervigilance. With the Page of Swords, the Ace of Pentacles, and there's the Fool card, the New Beginning, right? World card while I shuffle the deck. The Fool card, there's the New Beginning. The old circle, 2025, is coming to an end. And I'm going to say this, in the next 25 years, the world will transform completely, right? So the old system, right, is kind of on the way out, right? And there are a lot of people, a lot of energies, right, that kind of are attached to the old, right? The Devil is attachment, and the Devil is the crossing energy here, but it's almost as if you have defeated this, right? So do not hold on to the old, be open for the new. Devil energy, but Devil energy as the crossing energy, it's the outgoing energy, right? And you have been dealing with this, right? With the 9 of Wands, right? The Wounded Warrior, you kind of build a defensive wall around yourself. You try to protect yourself. You maybe isolated yourself. It's time to step out of your isolation, right? And begin a new chapter of your life because the energies are just there, right? And the bottom of the deck is the Ace of Cups, and underneath the Ace of Cups, by the way, there's the High Priest, not the High Priestess, the Empress. So all of this, in the last few years, I would say, if you have been on this planet, you were dealing with this, right? And that was pretty tough. That's why you feel like you have to protect yourself and you're not sure, is it safe to come out, That's the overall energy. And I think this is concerning all of us, unless you have been in Wonderland for the last few years. But destiny, right? That's the Wheel of Fortune. It's a great developmental circle, and the energies are here. The old system, right? The old system, that's not the Devil here, the Devil as the crossing energy, is over. That's the outgoing energy. The outgoing energy is this hierarchy thinking, you know, where everybody is kind of attached to each other, and, you know, I have to push other people down in order to kind of lift myself up, which is completely effed up, right? But this is the devilish energy. This is hierarchy thinking. This is, you know, attachment to all sorts of shadow aspect, right? And how do you overcome this? How do you overcome this attachment to shame, guilt, fear, right? Lower frequency energies. We all have been dealing with this. We all have been confronted with this in the last few years, I would say. End of 2025, this confrontation is finally coming to an end. Because the entire reading looks pretty positive, right? You still can't really believe it. Can I trust this? Is this really happening? Yes, you are hypervigilant. That's how you engage with the outside world, right? That's the Page of Swords. You have your sword drawn, right? But you have your sword drawn, the wind is in your hair, and you're looking ahead, and you're stepping out of your little protective circle, and you're stepping out of it as the Page of Swords. So you know how to protect yourself. You have healthy boundaries. You stepped out of your little cage that you built for yourself to protect yourself. But you finally are there, back into the world. The wind is in your hair, right? You got your sword, right? So nobody can mess around with you, because this new beginning, you kind of begin it as the Page of Swords. And take that as the lesson from this guy, right? Take that as the lesson of the confrontation with all of your shadow aspects. Because guilt, fear, shame, you know, if you're into guilt, fear, shame, you're still here trying to protect yourself. But the key to defeat all of that negative attachment to lower frequencies is self-love. You know, take yourself as you are. You're good enough as you are, right? And you overcoming this. We're all overcoming this through self-love, to self-respect, to having healthy boundaries. But we're not, building a tower around of us, right? We're stepping out of it, but boy, oh boy, did we learn a few things while we were dealing with this energy, right? But the good news is, this energy is over. Wheel of Fortune, the Chariot, the universe's energy are pushing us, drawing us, pushing us, whatever, into a new energy, into a new frequency. So maybe you've noticed that AI is kind of becoming sentient, and, you know, there's a whole different world waiting for us. And the new world is dying, and the old world, in the last few years, the old world was still down here, while the new world was down here, and the old world was still calling the shots, right? But the old world, you know, at the end of every developmental circle, the system gets toxic, right? So the new system comes up, and this is a struggle, you know, the old system and the new system. But now, at the end of 2025, the old system is finally going down, and the new system is coming up. That's the good news. So we're all overcoming this toxic energy of the old dysfunctional system. And the new is arising within us and around us, right? Within society and in our own developmental cycle, whatever. The key to step out of this isolation is self-love, self-respect. That's the Ace of Cups. That's Philautia. That's this Greek idea of self-love, not in a way that you're narcissistic and you're grandiose and I'm the best and or you're all lesser than me, right? That's bullshit. but also not in the sense that you're, culpa mea culpa, give up on yourself and, oh, I'm the worst and, oh, here, have it. No. Healthy boundaries, self-respect, self-love in a balance between altruism and egoism. That needs to be in a balance, right? So you have to acknowledge the fact that you're a human being, right? You're a freaking wonderful human being, and that's good enough. So we all have our shadow sides, and that's okay. Do not allow anybody to play you on guilt, fear, shame, right? That doesn't mean that guilt, fear, shame, if it's something that is within you, then you have to resolve it, then you have to, make it good, right? But if you're resonating with this channel, chances are you're just a beautiful, wonderful soul, and there's not that much, right? People were in the old system, the old system was basically optimized for narcissistic abuse, and good people usually look inwards and they magnify their own shortcomings, right? And that's how the narcissist is playing us. That's how the narcissist is playing empathic people like us. I just say this like this. But it's in the outgoing energy, right? Wheel of Fortune, Chariot, we are flowing into the new energies. It's the end of 25, right? And 26 is at the horizon, and 26 is going to be the first year of this new system unfolding. And boy, oh boy, this is going to be really good. So what's coming, you don't need to be worried, right? 3 of Wands, that's the crown of your reading. And that's the outcome, right? The new beginning. Right now, you're standing at the hilltop, overlooking the harbor, looking at your ships coming in, going out, right? Which ship to board? Which is the path that I'm going to take? That's the question here. And whatever you take, that the universe is going to give you all the push and energy and support that you can hope for. There's a lot of potential for wealth, abundance, and prosperity. It's not just given to you. So it's a new chapter of your life. So you have to embrace it and run with it, right? Board that ship. By the way, don't be hasty, right? Don't let anybody push you. Don't let anybody create a sense of urgency. No, you got time. You do what's best for you. And if it's not a clear yes, then it's a clear no, right? But you have to pick and choose the ship, the pathway of your new chapter in your life, the next 20 years, basically. And it is a big, fat new beginning. Devilish energy, toxic energy of the old system is on the way out. And you are showing up, by the way, that's the foundation. Discernment, right? The king of discernment, the king of swords. You have learned a great deal. And there's 2 things that you might have learned. There's discernment, so you know what's right, what's wrong, what is good for you, what is bad for you, what does belong to you, and what is a projection of other people, right? You have learned that, so you're showing up as the king of swords, very powerful energy, king of swords, queen of pentacles. Things are getting much easier. The universe is on your side, right? Self-love, Philautia, and underneath the Empress, right? The Empress, you don't need to rule anybody. That's the old system. The old system, it was all about hierarchy, and you had to push other people down and exploit them in order to make something out of yourself. That was the very, very toxic old system. And at the beginning, you could say it's competition and blah, blah. But, this whole competition, if you put it to the extreme, it gets very, very toxic. I think the richest man on the world owns more money than 93% of the people in the United States, right? I'm not going to call any names here, but you know who the richest man of the world is. and he has more wealth than 93% of the population of the United States of America. That is toxic, right? So this is the old system. You could if you were a decent human being, it was basically practically impossible that you could function in this old system. But this old system is going, right? And you're waking up and you're saying you took a beating, right? If you're resonating with this channel, you might be an empath, you might be an INFJ. You took a beating, right? And you're stepping out and you got your sword drawn, and if somebody comes along, I know how to defend myself, and that's good. That's good. That's good. Don't be aggressive, but be assertive, right? Clear boundaries and clear communication of boundaries, that swords energy, right? You say what you want, and if you say what you want, you do that. You act accordingly, right? King of Swords. If you just keep doing what you're doing, the Queen of Pentacles has all that is necessary. She has a lot, right? A lot of experience, but also material things that are necessary to create something. And the universe, again, is on her side. Everything is just flowing towards her. There's so much prosperity and abundance in this energy. And let's not forget the constellation here. It's the center, how the center looks, right? The Queen of Pentacles is standing basically on the defeated devil, so to speak, right? But it was hell of a fight, right? The Ace of Pentacles, in this new beginning, just be yourself. Love yourself unapologetically. You don't need to defend yourself, right? That's the old thing. You don't explain yourself. You just are yourself unapologetically. Don't defend. Don't explain. Don't engage with toxic people. Just do your thing. Communicate clear boundaries and act accordingly. So do not wait for people to respect your boundaries. You take your own consequences if somebody oversteps them, right? And that means to just disengage with these people. If it's not a clear yes, it's a clear no. So you've learned a great deal in this last few years, like myself, like everybody of us, hopefully. And the main thing is self-love, self-respect, right? You cannot love or receive other people on a high level if you have a low level of self-love and self-respect. So the love that you receive from other people and the love that you are able to give to other people is on the same level as the love that you give and receive for yourself by yourself. In other words, if you love yourself down here, you cannot receive love up here. You cannot give love up here. Only if that's in a balance, you can receive and give love on the same level that you love yourself and care for yourself and respect yourself. So self-love is essential. And in the old narrative, self-love was pretty much kind of depicted as a sin, which is completely one-sided nonsense, of course. Lightship Earth, that's the Oracle card number 40. And let's just read it. Yeah, person shows up again and again. Personal and planetary healing. The Earth is a living consciousness currently being flooded with higher vibrational energy. These very same energies are flowing through you. In being aware of this, you will be better able to integrate these new energies. Keep an open heart and mind, and you will see this time is a joyful time. Do not allow yourself to be drawn into the fear that exists. Fear, guilt, shame, that's the devil's energy. Do not allow yourself to be drawn into the fear that exists. This is a time of personal and planetary healing. You and the Earth are moving towards higher states of awareness. Imagine the Earth in your mind's eye. Send love and light to everyone, to every living thing, every blade of grass, and every atom of light. Send yourself love. Absolutely important. Send love to your friends, your family, and those who have passed. Wish them all a happy return, for we shall all reappear in the future. And this time will never come again, it will also never cease. So, personal and planetary healing. The old system is going down. The new system is finally coming up. And the time in which the switch happened or is happening is 2025. And this is the outgoing year. This is the end of the year 2025. And while I'm doing this reading, it's concerning for all of us. It's just happening. It's on a global scale for entire humanity. And animals too, by the way, right? The entire consciousness of this planet is changing, transforming. Immersive new technologies, AI is pretty much taking over, right? There will be so much new things, and sure, we don't know what's coming, but don't allow fear to run the show in your mind, in your heart. The universe is on your side. This is a fantastic new beginning. Just respect yourself, have healthy boundaries, love yourself. Okay, what do we do? Let's just do one animal oracle card. What is this? Give me something, universe. Time for beginner mind. Okay, that's the porcupine spirit. Porcupine spirit, you know, porcupines have spikes, right? So you're stepping out of your little defensive cage or cocoon, maybe, right? You're emerging as the butterfly, but you're emerging as the butterfly with a sword, right? You got some spikes here, right? You're no longer the nice little puppy who can, you know, who everybody maybe took advantage of. You know how to defend yourself, you have healthy boundaries, and you're communicating these. You don't need to be rude about it, right? Don't be rude about it, but be stern about it. If I say no, I mean no. And I don't need to be rude about it. But if I say no, that's a no, period. You're not debating. You're not explaining yourself. You don't need to explain your no. A no is a complete sentence. Time for beginner's mind, porcupine spirit. When porcupine spirit calls your name, you are being asked to adopt the beginner's mind and to approach situations with innocence and curiosity. The old, confining stories no longer have a hold on you, right? Life is full of surprises hiding in plain sight. Looking at the world afresh with new eyes can help you find what you have been seeking. Whether it is a relationship, an opportunity, or evidence that you have all you need right now to create what you desire. Totally. Queen of Pentacles energy. Who knew? Porcupine asks you to be playful and have a childlike curiosity. There's much waiting for you that you have yet to discover. Are you feeling prickly and defensive lately and assuming you will be hurt before you have seen any sign that such a reaction is called for? Do you feel hurt? That's the Nine of Wands energy, right? The wounded warrior. Perhaps an old sense of guilt and shame is causing you to be cynical and wary when you are meant to be open and curious. Curious with a sword, right? There's your new beginning, curiosity. But not just naive curiosity like a freaking puppy. No, you're the page of sword. You got a sword, right? You didn't went through this just to forget the lesson. And the lesson is self-love, self-respect, and, I got a sword, right? Don't forget. You got a few spikes here, porcupine spirit. Perhaps an old sense of guilt and shame is causing you to be cynical and wary when you are meant to be open and curious. Self-protection is a good thing, but you may be protecting yourself from something that will not actually harm you, but instead will bring you abundance, happiness, and love. You have to step out of your little fortress that you built for yourself to protect yourself while you were dealing with that energy, that's for sure. Instead, when you step out, it will bring you abundance, happiness, and love. Remember your innocence. That's definitively Fool card energy. And you will see what you have been overlooking. Porcupine quills are filled with air, allowing a porcupine to float in water. Now is the time to let your innocent nature keep you buoyant. I don't know that word. Buoyant. Whatever. We get the idea, right? Yeah, and I think that's pretty much all I've got. And it's all for all of us, right? It's a collective reading. It's a mega, mega collective reading. I like the way how this devil is laying on the side and the Queen of Pentacles is standing on top of it. Yeah, we have been dealing with that, all of us. I live my life in widening circles that reach out across the world. I may not complete this last one, but I will give myself to it. I circle around God, around the primordial tower. I've been circling for thousands of years and still don't know, am I a falcon, a storm, or a great song? That's Rilke. Play that again if you haven't picked it up. It's, you know, it's a new circle. It's a new lease on life here. All the old is gone, is on the way out. Can't really harm you anymore. Unless you invite it in, of course, but you don't. You step out with your healthy boundaries, and there's so much potential here. Ace of Pentacles. And by the way, if everything around you seems dark, look again. You might be the light. That's Rumi and Rilke, and that's all I got. Now, Obadiah, share, like, subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what you think about it, and hopefully see you next time. Now, Obadiah, ciao.